Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Close your eyes for just a second. Picture yourself walking down these incredibly beautiful historic cobblestone streets in Vilnius, and then you step right into a vibrant, modern university campus. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Well, that's exactly what's waiting for you at Kazimierz Simonowicz's University, or KSU for short. If you're a prospective student looking to kick off your studies in 2027, you've landed in exactly the right spot. Today, we're going to map out your entire admission journey to KSU. It's a super exciting path, and I'm absolutely thrilled to walk you through it.
We'll be breaking this down into 5 simple steps. Apply with documents, fees and payments, the interview stage, TRP and accommodation, and finally, starting your studies.
All right, let's kick things off with step 1, apply with documents.
So, this is where your journey officially gets underway. You'll fill out the online application, attach a copy of your passport, and then upload your officially translated educational documents. Now, here's an interesting detail. The specific high school exams you need actually shift depending on the bachelor's track you want. If you're targeting a business-heavy track, like aviation management, business management, or film industry management, you've got to show you've completed exams in math, plus one other subject of your choice. But hey, if you're not exactly a math person, no worries at all. KSU lets you swap that math requirement for a science, IT, or commerce-related subject instead. On the flip side, if you're leaning toward the creative tracks, like fashion business or communication and digital media, they drop the math requirement entirely. You just need proof of exams in any 2 subjects you choose.
Now, for those of you aiming for a master's degree, things build directly on your undergrad success. You'll need to submit both your high school certificate and your undergraduate diploma. And KSU is looking for specific backgrounds here. For example, aviation management, fashion, or organizational innovation require your undergrad to be in management, business, or social sciences. If you're going for strategic communication, they want to see a background in communication or social sciences. Are you sitting there right now in your final year, kind of panicking because you don't have your final diploma yet? Honestly, take a deep breath. You can just submit your latest transcripts and a letter stating when you're expected to graduate. Oh, and a quick pro tip, if your name has changed, maybe you got married, make sure you attach official proof of that so your academic documents match your passport perfectly.
Moving right along to step 2, fees and payments.
Once you've submitted your documents and they've been reviewed, it is time for the registration fee. It's €250. That's the standard, one-time, non-refundable fee to process everything. But there's a pretty important caveat here. If you happen to be a Lithuanian applicant, you get a reduced fee of just €100. So when you're setting up your account on the admissions portal, please be super careful to select your citizenship correctly so the system gives you the right price.
Okay, this part is absolutely crucial, so listen up. To pay that application fee, you have to use Flywire. It is strictly mandatory for app fees, and honestly, it's great because it's open 24/7, the funds reach the university on the exact same day, and you're guaranteed the best exchange rate. You'll find the Flywire link right inside your electronic invoice. Now compare that to a standard bank transfer to Luminar Bank AB. You only use that for your actual tuition fees later down the line. Traditional bank transfers can take up to 2 whole weeks to clear, and you end up having to pay the international bank fees yourself. So just remember the golden rule. Flywire is for the application, bank transfers are for tuition. Keeping that straight is going to save you a massive headache later.
Which brings us to step 3, the interview stage. All right, this is where the paperwork stops and the human connection starts. The admissions team wants to meet the real person behind the transcripts through a recorded interview. They're looking closely at 4 things. First, your motivation, like why do you actually want this degree? Second, your English proficiency because, well, you'll be studying in English. Third, how well you express yourself. And finally, your knowledge of your chosen program in KSU. They really want to see your spark. So do a little digging, get to know your curriculum, and show up ready to prove why you are an absolute perfect fit.
Now here's a massive rule you cannot forget. Once you're in the evaluation stage, things start moving pretty fast. And you absolutely must use your official application account for all communication with the university. Seriously, do not send random emails from your personal Gmail or Yahoo account asking for a status update. The university centralizes everything through the portal. When you get accepted, your conditional offer letter will drop right into that account, so keep a close eye on it.
All right, on to step 4, TRP and accommodation.
Huge congratulations, you got accepted. Now, let's talk immigration logistics. How this works depends entirely on what passport you hold. If you're from the European Economic Area, or if you hold a biometric passport from places like Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, Israel, or Japan, you have it so easy. You don't need a visa or a temporary residence permit, which we call a TRP, to enter Lithuania. Just your passport or ID is totally fine. But if you're a non-AAA citizen, you'll need to apply for a TRP in your home country, or maybe a neighboring one, through a VFS Global office. You'll want to apply for a 1 to 2 year permit. And don't stress about this. The KSU International office is right there to help you out and get you the documents you need.
Okay, so you're legally in the country. Where are you going to sleep? Let's talk housing. KSU offers students rooms at their awesome modern dormitory called Epic Campus, right on Vitnio Street. Securing your spot is a super simple 6-step process. First, and I can't stress this enough, book an appointment with the manager, Victor, via email or phone before you show up. Second, you visit and pick your room. Third, you sign a contract for either 10 months or a full year. Fourth, you pay your deposit, which is great because it's refundable or can cover your last month's rent, along with your first month's payment. Fifth, you grab your entry card. And sixth, you move in, unpack, and start meeting your new neighbors.
Quick pro tip for you to make sure move-in day is totally stress-free. The Epic Campus office runs like a tight ship. You need to be on time for your appointment with Victor, or you might have to reschedule. Their hours are strictly 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and they take their very last appointment at 5 p.m. And here's the kicker. They are closed on weekends and national holidays. Keep that in mind when you book your flight. You literally do not want to land in Vilnius on a Saturday night expecting to move into your dorm because the office doors will be locked. Plan to arrive on a weekday.
And finally, step 5. Start your studies in Lithuania.
You made it to the final stretch. Here's your ultimate pre-departure checklist. First, lock in those travel arrangements, keeping those dorm office hours we just talked about in mind. Next, and please, if you remember one thing today, make it this. Bring your original, physical educational documents with you. Yes, you uploaded digital copies, but Border Control and the university need to see the real physical papers. Keep them safely in your carry-on bag. Once you finally step onto campus, you'll officially sign your study agreement, and then you get to dive right into orientation week. If you get stuck at any point, the KSU team is always just an email away.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with KSU's motto: live bold, learn deep, be now. Because honestly, choosing to study abroad in Lithuania isn't just about getting a piece of paper at the end. It's about throwing yourself out of your comfort zone, really engaging with new ideas, and being fully present in a dynamic, fast-paced European city. We've just walked through the entire 2027 admissions process, from uploading that first passport copy to unlocking the door of your room at Epic Campus. You've got the roadmap. So, what does this all mean for you? It means it's time to ask yourself, are you ready to live bold and start your journey in Lithuania? If that's a yes, go fire up that application portal and tackle step 1 today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I am wishing you massive success on the amazing academic adventure you've